22 News is continuing our coverage of Love Your Heart Day as part of American Heart Month. So joining us now is Dr. James Arcolio of the Cooley Dickinson Medical Group. He's a board-certified cardiologist who's here to answer your questions about heart health. Dr. Arcolio, we thank you for being here this evening.
Thank you for having me.
So let's begin with a question about the impact of COVID-19. There's been a lot of concern about sedentary lifestyles before the pandemic and what that might mean for your heart health. So why is spending so much time sitting bad for our hearts, and how much activity per day is needed, especially if you work at a job where you're often sitting?
Yeah, it's a very good question. So, I see a lot of patients, and many of them have gained quite a bit of weight over the last 2 years. They used to go to a gym. They're really afraid to go out, and it's really taken a toll. So, a lot of them don't like to come to the office. So some of their visits were missed, their medications lapsed, their lab tests are not getting done and not, followed up upon, and they're not exercising. So it's really impacted the population negatively, I feel.
And so heart disease is often thought of as a problem of older adults, but that's not necessarily true. So what age do people need to start thinking seriously about their heart health?
Right. So people really have to be concerned about heart disease at early ages when they have a strong positive family history of coronary disease, which typically means that they have multiple family members that have heart attacks or coronary events when they're younger. Younger means in their 40s, or even younger than that, in their 20s and 30s. That typically will mean that they have a derangement or a problem with cholesterol metabolism. So, whenever you hear that, whenever we see that in the office or a patient comes in and they're concerned with family members, the first thing that we ask is, what ages are they when they have problems? If they're in their 70s and 80s versus the 30s and 40s, it's typically just the Western lifestyle that leads to them developing coronary disease. But when you see them that they have a coronary event, need a stent, or have a heart attack when they're much younger, that's usually a problem with their cholesterol.
Okay,
So, by the guidelines, you really want to start checking the cholesterol early in their life, in their 20s and 30s. And they talk with their doctor about the profile, and they adjust things accordingly.
Okay, some good insight right there for our younger viewers. And finally, high blood pressure often goes hand in hand with heart problems. So why is high blood pressure so dangerous?
High blood pressure, they call it in medical school the silent killer. So, it's one of those things that you can have really high blood pressure for a really long period of time, but if you don't check it, if the doctor's not following it, you have no idea about the damage that it's causing. So, high blood pressure will cause blockages in your arteries. It can cause you to have strokes. It can cause kidney failure. There are a lot of organs that it affects slowly over time, and you don't even know it. So it reaches and touches a lot of organs in your body silently. So it's really important to keep an eye on it.